Hi, this is Amy Lewis, and we're back with PopUpTechTalks. I'm here with Chris. Chris, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, Amy. I'm Chris Maki. I'm a solution architect from Scalar Decisions in Vancouver, Canada.
Awesome. So we were having a bit of a conversation about coding and the importance of it. I know you said in the past this is your dark past, and you're looking to kind of get back in. Tell us a little bit about what you did before in your career and what you're doing now and what you're thinking about doing.
Well, previously in my career, I did a lot of scripting and automation on the Linux side and Solaris side. And I really moved into traditional infrastructure in the past 8 years, I guess, and I'm really kind of missing the old stuff, and the writing's a little bit on the wall. I think that in the future, we're going to be, infrastructure architects are going to also have to be coders if they're not already. And the path to that, I'm still not completely clear on, although I'm seeking help here, actually. I reached out to the VMware Code folks, I signed up for their Slack, and I'm going to get involved, and I'm going to jump in head first and see what happens.
So take me back a little bit in terms of, do you think that, was it a career choice for you, or do you think the industry sort of dictated you move more away from what you had done originally, all that scripting, into architecture, and now is shifting back? Do you think that was market pressure, or just kind of your choice and your career path? What's your sort of perspective on that?
Well, I'm not really sure. I mean, I used to be in application support, and then I started moving into the infrastructure side of things, and I used my coding knowledge to automate my job and make it easier. I mean, this is when I was working for an employer. At some point in your life, sometimes you become a contractor. At that time, billable hours are the most important, and you may not want to automate everything. But now I work for an employee or a company again, and I like to just make my job more efficient and easier.
I actually think it's a great point that you bring up. We've had a lot of conversation. I know Pat Gelsinger in the keynotes here, we're at VMworld 2016, had talked about the shift in IT funding. And so I think that you make a really interesting point about whether you're on premises as a full-time or if you're contracting, it has an impact we hadn't thought about before in terms of how you do your job.
Yeah, I have to agree on that side. Definitely the developers are getting a lot more attention in this media, I'll call it. This may be a bit of an echo chamber sometimes, but there's definitely a bit of a shift happening, and infrastructure is getting, or traditional infrastructure is getting a less attention.
So it's not just a matter of, I know we've heard for years, the death of this or the year of that, but it's much more, it sounds like to me, that you're saying a diversification of job skills is what you're looking for, and that you think everybody's kind of got to become a little more a jack of all trades than a single note, if you will. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you should. There's the old saying of jack of all trades, master of none is the one problem. I feel that you need to get deep somewhere and then expand, and then you should always be growing in your career, or you're going to fail and you're going to die. You might as well go sell cars or something.
To all our car salespeople who are currently watching PopUpTechTalks. So what are some of the other sources that you've looked at in terms of getting back into this? You said you would talk to the folks here at VMworld. What are some of the avenues that you're thinking about in getting back into this process?
That's the problem, is I'm not even sure yet. That's why I am really just reaching out, not even in a technical way right now, more on a social or networking way, and I'm just trying to find out what the resources are. I mean, I can't remember who does the X amount of days of commitments right before Christmas. I was starting.
Right, commitments.
Yeah, so I
think that's Matt Brinder.
I listened to that after the fact, and it was already too late. So if they do it again next year, I'm going to definitely dive in at the start so that I can follow along and hopefully learn some stuff. But maybe I'll learn it before then. I could always go back and listen to them retrospectively, obviously, and do it. But I mean, a lot of this stuff comes from podcasts in the community, and that's really where the industry is going. Everyone is online all the time, so we're all talking to each other, and that's where I'm going to find my help, I think.
No, and I think you make several great points, and we were having a conversation before about information you get from podcasts and from the community as you start down these different paths. What would you, if you were pitching our listening audience, why stay involved? How has that helped you in your career?
If you don't stay involved, you lose the thing. You got to keep your finger on the pulse the whole time. If you're not involved, you're going to fall behind, and you're not even going to realize that companies and people are innovating so fast these days that you can fall behind in a month. It's that easy. So you just have to try to stay up to date.
I really like that, and I think you're right. There's something about not even knowing what you don't know that the community can help out with that. Although I'm not sure it'll help with my Slack habits.
Let's not talk about Amy's Slack habits. She's not the most responsive, we'll say.
You could say I'm a slacker.
Wah, wah, wah.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, Amy.
Until next time, this is Pop Up Tech Talks.